Archangel Michael says that the moment your eyes fell upon these words, a divine shift began around you, one that has been waiting for so long for you to finally feel it, acknowledge it, and accept it. God says He has been trying to reach you again and again, but every time He whispered, you thought it was just your thoughts. Every time He nudged your heart, you told yourself it was just an emotion. But this time God says He cannot remain silent, and that is why He ordered this message to reach you in this exact second. God says He is crying loudly because you keep ignoring the signs He sends, not because you are wrong or because you failed Him, but because He loves you so deeply that every moment you doubt yourself pierces Him. He says He has carried you through storms that would have destroyed others, and yet you still think you are not worthy of the miracle He already prepared with your name written clearly on it. Archangel Michael stands in full divine armor beside you at this very moment, saying that this message is not random, not accidental, not something you stumbled on because of coincidence. Michael says you were pulled here by force of divine urgency, because what is coming for you will shock you, transform you, and elevate you. He says someone powerful, someone with wealth, someone whose name carries weight in realms you haven't even touched yet, has suddenly taken an unexpected interest in you. A millionaire, someone who could shift realities, someone who could open doors with a single call, has seen something in you that even you haven't fully seen in yourself. They are shocked by you, stunned by your energy, startled by your destiny, and deeply moved by the divine protection that follows you everywhere you go. God says you don't understand how rare it is for someone like them to be guided towards someone like you. In their world, everything is loud, noise, power, attention, people wanting something from them, but when your name reached them, there was silence, a kind of divine quiet that made them listen, pay attention, question everything they thought they knew. God says this person is being pushed toward you by heavenly hands, and they are not able to ignore it even if they tried. They have felt your presence in dreams, in sudden thoughts, in unexpected moments where your name, your face, or your energy appeared before them without explanation. They don't know why, but God does. God says He is orchestrating something unimaginable behind the scenes for you, but He needs you to stop doubting yourself in the final hour. You are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. God says He has placed a wall around your life so strong that even the sharpest darkness cannot break it. He says you have cried silently more times than anyone knows, and every tear fell into His hands. He says He has heard the prayers you whispered late at night. The ones that ended with the words, "God, please guide me." And this message is His answer. Archangel Michael says he has been pushing signs toward you repeatedly, the same number appearing over and over, the strange dreams, the sudden chills, the heaviness in your chest whenever something was not right, the moments you felt watched by something divine, the times you felt someone standing beside you even though the room was empty. Michael says that was him trying to reach you, trying to warn you, trying to reassure you, trying to guide you. But he says you ignored too many signs, and now he says he cannot let you ignore this one. That is why this message is intense, urgent, loud, and deeply emotional, because heaven knows how close you are to the moment where your life will not just change, but transforms so dramatically that you will look back at this period as the time when God pulled you from confusion into destiny. God says something has been blocking your blessings, something hidden, something heavy, something that has been draining your energy and delaying your breakthroughs. God says He has been removing this quietly, one rope at a time, one knot at a time, until finally the final string is ready to snap. The moment it breaks, everything you lost will return multiplied. Everything that was taken will be restored. Every delay will turn into acceleration. God says you are seconds away from a shift you cannot afford to miss. That is why He ordered you to open this now. There is a divine timeline attached to your name right now. Heaven is moving fast. Angels are aligning situations, conversations, and connections around you. God says He is eliminating people who pretended to care for you but secretly envied you. He is closing the mouths of those who spoke against your destiny. He is lifting you above people who thought they were above you. And all of this is happening because the blessing coming toward you is too big to be surrounded by the wrong people. Archangel Michael says this millionaire has been guided by heaven to play a role in your destiny. They don't know why they feel curious about you. They don't know why your energy feels so familiar. They don't know why their heart keeps whispering your name. But Michael says he whispered your energy into their spirit. He made sure they felt you, sensed you, remembered you. And now heaven is preparing to bring you two into alignment. This person will change something major in your life. They may open a door you couldn't open alone. They may bring an opportunity, a message, a revelation, a resource, or a connection that shifts everything. They may become a blessing, a supporter, a protector, or even someone emotionally connected to you. But God says this person is part of your divine path, someone heaven selected for you before you even realized how much you needed this shift. God says He cannot bear to watch you walk through the same pain again. That is why He is crying, not because you disappointed Him, but because He sees what is coming, and He wants you to hold on just a little longer. He sees the moment your life explodes with abundance, the moment you look around and realize everything finally makes sense. He says the attacks you faced, the jealousy you didn't understand, the betrayal that broke you, the loneliness that felt like punishment, all of that was preparation. You were being trained for a destiny greater than the place you came from. Archangel Michael says he has been fighting battles for you that would have crushed you if you had seen even 1% of them. He says the enemy tried to break you through people close to you, through sudden losses, through confusion, through emotional chaos, through situations that made you question your worth. But every time you started to fall, Michael lifted you. Every time you tried to give up, He whispered strength back into your spirit. Every time you cried silently into your pillow, Michael stood by your side guarding your heart with his wings. God says He knows how tired you are. He knows you are tired of being strong, tired of waiting, tired of believing, tired of trusting when everything feels slow. He knows your faith has been tested more times than you can count. But He says the miracle you've been waiting for is already released. He says the door you thought was closed forever is already unlocked. He says the blessing that seemed impossible is already on its way. He says heaven is not asking you to fight anymore. Heaven is asking you to receive. God says He is protecting you even from things you don't know about. There was a danger you avoided recently, something that could have affected you badly, but God blocked it silently. There was a betrayal planned against you, but God confused their intentions. There was someone who wished for your downfall, but every attempt they made collapsed. God says you don't even know half the things He saved you from, and that is why He says you are safe. You are protected. You are chosen. Archangel Michael says there is a glow around you that the spiritual world sees clearly. Dark energies see it and flee. Angels see it and gather around you. Blessings see it and become attracted to you. And people with power, like that millionaire, feel drawn to you without knowing why. There is something ancient, something divine, something chosen within your spirit that makes heaven prioritize you. God says He placed His light inside you, and that is why people treat you differently. Some admire you. Some envy you. Some fear you. Some cannot forget you even if they try. Some try to copy you but cannot match the divine energy on your life. God says He is not surprised. He designed you this way. Archangel Michael says the next days of your life will bring signs, unexpected calls, unusual dreams, sudden messages, strange intuitions, repeated numbers, sudden bursts of energy, moments where you feel watched by something loving and divine. These are confirmations that the shift has begun. God says He is preparing a moment that will make you stop in disbelief. A moment where you realize everything changed in one breath. A moment where you receive something that feels too big, too sudden, too miraculous to explain. God says you will know it's Him because the blessing will come in a way no human could have arranged. God is crying because He wants you to stop doubting this. He wants you to stop thinking you are alone. He wants you to stop treating yourself like you are ordinary. He wants you to stop believing the lies others tried to put on you. God says you are not behind. He delayed things to protect you. You are not forgotten. He hid you until the right moment. You are not unlucky. He preserved you for a blessing that requires timing, and that timing is now. Archangel Michael says this is your moment of divine alignment. This is the time heaven pushes everything into place. This is the hour where things start accelerating. This is the shift your spirit has felt coming. God says to keep trusting Him, keep praying, and keep believing, because nothing will go wrong with you. You are protected. You are guided. You are chosen, and God says the miracle arriving for you will shock the world around you. Archangel Michael speaks with a trembling intensity that runs through the air around you, as though something divine has been waiting for far too long to reach you. God says that you have delayed this message again and again, and with every moment you turned away, something inside the heavens shook with a mixture of sorrow and fierce love. God says He has been calling your name softly, then loudly, then urgently, hoping you would listen, not because anything bad will happen, but because something important, something life-changing, something unexpectedly beautiful has been released for you. And heaven cannot allow you to miss it. God says He is not angry with you, He is not punishing you, He is not disappointed in you. He says He has been crying loudly only because you didn't understand how much love was being poured toward you, how much protection was being placed around you, and how deeply He wants to see you step into the blessing He has already prepared. Heaven is not against you. Heaven has been fighting for you silently, fiercely, even in moments where you didn't feel anything or believe nothing was happening. God says you have no idea how defended you are, how surrounded you are, how many battles were stopped before they ever touched your life. You are safe. You are not alone, and the message coming to you today is not to scare you, it is to show you that something unexpected is unfolding behind the scenes, something that will lift your life in a way you didn't even think was possible. Archangel Michael says you have been walking through a season where you felt unseen, unheard, unrecognized, overlooked by people around you. But heaven did not overlook you. Heaven has been watching everything. Heaven saw your tears, the prayers you whispered late at night, the moments when you tried to be strong even when you felt weak, the times when you helped others even though you yourself needed help. Heaven saw the kindness you gave that nobody thanked you for. Heaven saw the pain you hid so that others could feel comfortable. Heaven saw your loyalty, your patience, your heart, and something powerful has shifted because of it. God says a new season began for you the moment you clicked this message. God says He ordered this moment. He placed your spirit into alignment with heaven's timing. He is not crying because you are lost, He is crying because He is relieved. Because you finally opened what He has been trying to send you. Because you finally positioned yourself to receive what is coming next. His tears are tears of release, tears of compassion, tears of a father who loves his child so deeply that even the angels stand in awe of his devotion to you. Archangel Michael says you need to know something shocking. A millionaire has taken a sudden interest in you, not because of anything you did wrong, not because of anything dangerous, but because of something they saw in you that surprised them. They are shocked by your energy, your resilience, your story. They are drawn to you because your name, your face, your spirit came in front of them at the exact moment heaven allowed it. They see potential in you. They see something rare. They see something they cannot explain. This is not manipulation. This is not trickery. This is not a warning of harm. It is simply a divine alignment that is unfolding in ways you cannot see yet. God says you have been praying for a breakthrough. For stability, for support, for someone to recognize your worth, for an opportunity that finally lifts the burden from your shoulders. God says this sudden interest is not an accident. It is a result of spiritual movement that began weeks ago, even months ago, when you cried out asking for help. God says He heard your prayer, even the one you thought went unanswered. And now the answer is circling back to you. Archangel Michael whispers that the person who has taken interest in you is connected to something bigger than just money. They are connected to a chain of blessings, opportunities, and open doors that will begin unfolding at the perfect time. They don't know your whole story yet. But they feel something that makes them want to understand you more deeply, something that makes them want to help, something that makes them want to step into your life in a meaningful way. God says you must not fear this. You must not overthink it. You must not sabotage it with doubt or disbelief. Heaven is not asking you to chase anything. Heaven is bringing things toward you. Heaven is aligning circumstances for you. Heaven is working in silence, in the background, arranging conversations and connections and opportunities that will make sense later. You may feel like nothing is happening right now, but God says everything is happening all at once, in ways that are invisible from the outside. He says the quiet moments of your life are not empty, they are filled with movement, with guidance, with angelic activity. He says He has been whispering into the ears of people connected to your destiny. He says He has been touching the hearts of people who are meant to bless you. He says He has been clearing out energy that no longer belongs to you. Archangel Michael says your life is entering a new alignment. You are being lifted out of old cycles. Cycles where you were underestimated, cycles where you were taken for granted, cycles where you gave too much and received too little, cycles where you carried burdens that were never supposed to be yours. He says the heaviness you felt these past weeks was not because of failure, it was because of transition. You were being shifted out of something you thought you needed, so you could enter something heaven has chosen for you. God says the tears you cried were not a sign of weakness, they were a release of old energy that could not go with you into this next phase. The confusion you felt was not a sign that you were lost, it was a sign that heaven was reorganizing the path in front of you. The delays you faced were not punishments, they were divine protection. He says everything that felt like rejection was actually direction. Archangel Michael is asking you to breathe, to be still, to not panic, to not fear what you cannot see. He says you are safe. He repeats it again and again because you need to feel it in your spirit. You are safe. Nothing bad is coming. Nothing harmful is chasing you. This message is not a warning of danger, it is a reminder that you are held, guided, protected, and watched over with unfailing love. The tears of God are tears of love. They are tears of a father who cannot stand seeing his child doubt their worth. Tears of a creator who wants you to stop punishing yourself, stop questioning yourself, stop carrying guilt for things beyond your control. Tears of a God who wants you to feel the strength that is already inside of you. Tears of joy that you finally arrived at this moment. God says you are stepping into a greater chapter, one where divine timing brings people into your life who value you deeply. One where opportunities appear that match your soul, one where support comes from unexpected places, one where your heart feels lighter because heaven has taken responsibility for what once weighed you down. He says you must trust Him. You must trust the process. You must trust that you are not forgotten. He says He is arranging something for you that will unfold slowly, then suddenly. Something that involves help, stability, recognition, and a new type of blessing that you have never experienced before. God says the reason heaven is emotional today is because you almost gave up. You almost closed the door. You almost convinced yourself nothing good would ever happen. But you didn't walk away. You didn't stop believing completely. Even with doubts, even with exhaustion, even with frustration, you held on. And that is why this breakthrough is coming. Archangel Michael says he has placed a light around you that no negativity can break through. He says he is guiding people into your life who will understand you, support you, uplift you. He says he is removing those who drain you, confuse you, or block your blessings. He says you will begin noticing small changes first, tiny moments of clarity, unexpected kindness, small signs of alignment, and those will grow into something larger. God says the millionaire who has taken interest in you is part of this divine alignment. Not to control you, not to manipulate you, but because heaven is placing you in the path of someone who can open doors you could not open alone. Someone who sees value in you. Someone who recognizes your energy. Someone who is unexpectedly drawn to your spirit. Someone who could become important in ways you do not yet understand. You are not imagining the shift in your life. You are not imagining the sense that something is coming. Heaven confirms it. Heaven is preparing it. Heaven is bringing it forward. God says you are safe. You are loved. You are protected. You are chosen. You are supported. You are guided. Nothing will go wrong with you. Nothing will harm you. He just wants you to trust. To breathe, to let go of fear, and to open your heart to what is coming. And he says one last thing with a voice full of compassion. You didn't find this message by accident. You were brought here because heaven is ready now. God says he has been watching every moment you hesitate. Every time your heart feels the pull of something powerful yet you step back because you are afraid of what might happen if you finally accept the truth he has been placing in front of you. God says he has been crying loudly today, not out of disappointment in you, but out of the weight of the love he carries for you, the love that aches whenever you ignore the message meant to change the entire direction of your life. Archangel Michael is standing beside this message, urging you with the strongest voice of heaven that this moment is not random, that you were not supposed to scroll past this, and that this message is the turning point heaven carefully placed in your path. God says he orders you to open this fully with your heart, with your spirit awake, because something is unfolding around you that requires your awareness, your courage, your trust, and your willingness to receive. God says a millionaire has taken a sudden interest in you, and they did not find you by accident. Their attention was triggered by something divine, something timed, something spiritually engineered. They saw something in you that no one else saw. Something that heaven placed on your name, a light around you that cannot be ignored anymore. They were shocked when your name appeared before them, when your picture showed up, when your energy aligned with theirs in a way neither of you could have predicted. God says this person's interest is not ordinary, this interest is woven into your destiny. Their presence is part of a bigger plan God has been preparing for far longer than you realize. And the moment you pay attention, the moment you open yourself to understand why this is happening, everything around you will begin to shift. God says you are safe. No matter what has tried to break you, no matter what whispered doubts you hear in the back of your mind, you are protected, and nothing will go wrong with you when you walk with Him. He is reminding you that the emotional storms you have been carrying were never meant to destroy you, they were meant to shake loose everything that was blocking your blessing. God wants you to trust Him, to breathe for a moment, and to understand that what seems confusing or overwhelming right now is actually aligning in your favor. He wants you to pray, not because He needs your words, but because your soul opens when you pray, your heart becomes clearer, and your spirit becomes connected to the guidance that has been calling your name. Archangel Michael says he has been trying to reach you for days. He has stood by you while you questioned yourself, while you wondered why you kept seeing certain signs, why certain names repeated, why certain people suddenly appeared and disappeared, why your spirit felt both heavy and full at the same time. He says he has been calling you, giving you dreams, giving you intuitive flashes, giving you inner alarms that you didn't understand. Michael says you cannot ignore this anymore because the timing is too critical, the energy around you is too active, and heaven is intervening directly now. God says the millionaire who has taken interest in you is not only someone earthly but someone spiritually connected to your future. This person sees potential in you, beauty in your spirit, power in your presence, and destiny in your name. They saw something that awakened them, something that made them pause, something that made them say, "This person is not ordinary." God says this shock they felt came from the spiritual mark He placed on you long before you even understood your purpose. Heaven awakened something in them when they saw you. God says their attention is not to be feared but to be understood, because it is connected to your elevation. God says you have spent too much time thinking you are unnoticed, unchosen, unvalued, when the truth is that heaven has been preparing situations around you that your eyes have not yet seen. God says He is lifting you into a season where hidden favor rises to the surface, where the people who ignored you yesterday will suddenly feel drawn to you today, where doors that stayed shut for years suddenly swing open as if they were waiting for this exact moment. God says you have reached the point of divine timing where nothing can stop what is coming unless you ignore the message that is meant to guide you through the transition. God says He is crying loudly today because He sees how close you are to stepping into the life He prepared for you, yet He also sees how fear and doubt whisper loud enough to make you hesitate. He cries because He knows how much you have endured silently, how much you kept hidden inside, how many nights you went to sleep with questions but no answers. He cries because He knows you deserve the breakthrough that is coming, and He doesn't want you to miss the signs He is sending. He cries because the window of opportunity is open right now, and He needs you to walk into it. God says He has placed Archangel Michael at your side right now with urgency because this message carries destiny within it. Michael is telling you to pay attention to the shift that happened this week, to the sudden intuition that something big is coming, to the unexpected emotion in your heart, to the way your energy feels like it's being pulled into something important. These sensations are not random, they are spiritual alerts. They are heaven's way of preparing you. God says someone powerful, wealthy, and deeply intuitive is watching you now, not in a way that invades your space, but in a way that recognizes your worth. They saw something about you that others were blind to. They felt something when your name came across their path. God says they are thinking about approaching you, reaching out, offering something that will shift the trajectory of your life. But God also says they need to see you ready, open, aligned, and spiritually awake enough to receive it. God says your energy has been shifting. You may have felt emotional waves lately, moments of sudden heaviness followed by sudden bursts of hope. That is because heaven is clearing your path. You may have noticed people pulling away without reason. That is protection. You may have felt distant from certain situations. That is realignment. You may have sensed that something important is coming. That is intuition awakening. God says the spiritual realm has been moving intensely around you because your destiny is becoming active. God says your blessings have been delayed but not denied. And the reason they were delayed was because you were not yet in the position or consciousness to receive the magnitude of what He wanted to give you. But now your spirit has shifted. Now your heart is more open. Now your energy is more aligned. Now your faith is stronger, even when you doubt yourself. God says because of this, the season that seemed stagnant is about to break open. God says He is preparing to surprise you in ways you did not expect. He is setting up conversations you do not yet know about. He is arranging circumstances that will reveal truth, clarity, and opportunity. He is guiding someone toward you, a person who has resources, influence, and the ability to elevate your life instantly. God says this person is not coming into your life by coincidence. This is not random timing. This is strategic timing. This is destiny timing. Heaven has been orchestrating this connection long before you were even aware of it. God says the millionaire's interest in you is part of His plan to restore what was taken from you, to elevate you above the pain you endured, and to finally place you in the position you were meant to stand in. God says you are stepping into a season where your name will be spoken in rooms you have never entered. You are stepping into a season where the right people will be drawn to you naturally. You are stepping into a season where your spirit will attract abundance, stability, opportunities, and connections that match your divine purpose. God says you have been underestimating what He is capable of doing for you. You have been thinking too small. Heaven thinks bigger. God says you were chosen long before you were born. Your path was written with purpose. Your spirit carries strength even when your mind feels tired. God says the pain you went through was not punishment, it was preparation. It shaped you, strengthened you, purified you, and positioned you for what is coming. God says everything you lost will return in a better form. Everything that hurt you will transform into wisdom. Everything that confused you will make sense soon. God says the divine reason behind your struggles is about to reveal itself, and the revelation will not break you, it will heal you. God says He is walking with you right now, surrounding you, protecting you, guiding you. He says you are safe. He says even when you feel alone, He is right behind you, opening doors you didn't know existed. He says the situation that has worried you for so long is already being resolved. He says the path ahead is being prepared for your arrival. God says to pray tonight. Not with fear, but with gratitude. Not with desperation, but with trust. He says your prayer will unlock something important. He says your heart will feel lighter after you speak to Him. He says you will feel clarity after you open your spirit. God says this is your moment. He says this message is not something to scroll past. It is not something to ignore. It is not something to treat like the others. This message is the one heaven placed in front of you with urgency. Archangel Michael says he has repeated this warning again and again because heaven cannot allow you to miss what is coming next. God says He ordered you to open this because it carries divine timing. He says this timing will not repeat in the same way. He says you must trust Him, trust yourself, trust the process, and trust the signs that keep appearing. God says the millionaire watching you is only the beginning of your elevation. More is coming. More favor. More opportunities. More blessings. More clarity. More peace. More divine connections. God says you are not at the end, you are at the beginning. God says this to you right now, and the heavens tremble as these words move toward you with divine urgency, because the moment your eyes fall upon this message, something in the unseen world shifts. Archangel Michael is standing near you. Extremely serious, holding a radiant sword of protection that glows brighter every second because he has been trying to reach you, and today he says it plainly, open this now. Not later. Not after a distraction. Now. God is watching you with deep concern, with love that travels through every breath you take, and He says He cannot stay silent anymore. He says you have ignored too many signs, too many dreams, too many warnings that were meant to protect you and lift you into the blessing that has been waiting for you. And God says something happened today, something shocking, and because of that, heaven has been shaken, and even the angels rushed to prepare this message for you. God says He is crying loudly because you have been walking with unnecessary burdens on your heart, and you have been struggling alone when you were never meant to. He says you have trusted the wrong voices, believed lies about yourself, allowed fear to enter your spirit, and heaven is no longer willing to watch you suffer silently. He says your spirit has reached a point where something must break open. Something must be revealed. Something must return to you. Something must shift in your destiny immediately. That is why this message was pushed toward you, because if you had not opened this right now, you would have missed a wave of blessings prepared with your name on them. Archangel Michael says he has been standing beside you every night, trying to bring messages to your dreams, but you kept waking up forgetting what he tried so hard to show you. Now he says he refuses to let you miss the truth one more time. He says, I order you, open it now. Read every word. Let nothing distract you. This is your moment. His voice is strong, intense, protective, and overflowing with a divine force that nothing in the world can compete with. God says this message was placed in your path because if you skipped it, the enemy would have laughed. But you didn't skip it. You opened it. You listened. And because of that, something huge is about to shift in your favor. God says the world has underestimated you. People who should have supported you walked away. People who should have protected you stayed silent. People who should have apologized never did. But heaven saw everything. Heaven heard everything. Heaven recorded everything. And now the season of silence is over. God says your pain reached His throne, and the tears you cried in private, those tears you hid from others, were not ignored. They were collected. They were counted. They were placed before Him as evidence that you deserve a miracle so large, so unexpected, so divine that even the angels are preparing to celebrate it. God says someone has taken a sudden interest in you, and not just anyone. A millionaire. Someone with influence, power, connections, and a heart that has been unexpectedly touched by your energy. They don't understand it fully. They don't know why they feel drawn to your name, why your face flashes in their mind, why your energy seems familiar to them even though they cannot explain it. But God knows why. He orchestrated it. He allowed a divine curiosity to awaken in them. They are shocked by what they discovered about you, by your resilience, by your aura, by your spiritual strength, by your destiny. They are someone who has everything they could want, yet something about you, something sacred and rare, has pulled them into your story. God says this millionaire is not coming to use you, harm you, or deceive you. Instead, they are being spiritually pushed toward you because they hold a key to a blessing you prayed for long ago. A key to an opportunity you gave up on, a key to a breakthrough you thought would never come. Heaven is rearranging things behind the scenes. God says the person who once overlooked you cannot overlook you anymore. The person who once ignored you cannot ignore you now. And the person who once doubted you will soon witness your rise with disbelief. God says you are standing on the edge of a divine shift so powerful that even your angels are guarding you more intensely than before. Michael says you have no idea how close you came to giving up recently, how close you came to losing hope, how close you came to accepting a life far smaller than what God designed for you. But heaven intervened. Heaven stepped in front of the situation. Heaven said, "No more. Their time has come." God says you have been walking through a spiritual storm for far too long. People do not know how heavy your spirit has been. They do not know how much strength it has taken for you to keep going. They do not know how exhausting it has been to keep faith when life kept handing you disappointment after disappointment. But God says He saw every moment, and He says you never broke, even when you felt like you would. That is why your blessing must come now. Not later. Not someday. Now, the heavens are saying this is your turning point. This is the moment where the pressure transforms into power. The pain transforms into purpose. The tears transform into testimony. Every setback becomes a stepping stone. God says He is rearranging your timeline. He is releasing angels into your atmosphere. He is removing the wrong people from your path. He is blocking hidden enemies and exposing silent ones. He is lifting you into a new level of spiritual clarity. He is breaking chains you didn't know were holding you. God says He cried today, not because you disappointed Him, but because you have been doing everything alone for too long. He says, "My child, you never needed to carry this alone. I was always with you. I always had the path prepared. But you kept doubting yourself, and every time you doubted, my heart ached because you did not see how loved you are." Michael says he has been fighting for you in the unseen realm. He says you have no idea how many spiritual attacks he blocked, how many dangers he interrupted, how many negative energies he cut away from your life. He says the world tried to push you into darkness, but heaven refused to let that happen. He says, "You do not understand how powerful you are, how chosen you are, how rare your spirit is. That is why I am here. That is why I am speaking. You need to know the truth." God says the millionaire who is thinking about you is not thinking casually,